Hey guys, what is up, this is Mustangs. Boo Guy is going back to Forza Motorsport 6 with a bit of an investigation. Now, vehicles such as this Toyota GT86 are an absolute blast to drive, and you don't need a lot of power to do it. The Scion FRS, the BRZ, and the GT86 were really besides the MX-5 and the S2000, these were some of the first vehicles to show that you can still go sideways and have crazy amounts of fun with very little power. You can see here, this has less than 200 horsepower, but I think it's relatively easy. It's not the easiest thing in the world to get sliding, but, you know, you can, and it's quite nice. But I wouldn't exactly call them, like, the cheap sports car genre, like the MX-5, S2000, GT86. I wouldn't exactly call them revolutionary. The MGs in the days of old did it many years ago, before these were even remotely popular. But that did get me thinking, what are the most revolutionary cars ever made in the performance world? And there's a fair few that you can probably think of right now, but I just thought to do a little investigation to see which vehicles I thought were the most revolutionary vehicles in the racing industry. Now we start off with, well, the Audi Quattro. Probably the biggest innovation to rally racing. It was either between this and the Lancia Stratos, but I chose this because this is the first vehicle to utilize four-wheel drive, and it set the standard for every rally vehicle from that day forward. And this one has 600 horsepower. The S1 version, the 86 version, did around 600 horsepower, four-wheel drive, 2,400 pounds, and was among the craziest of the Group B cars. And yeah, it was really a true milestone vehicle at the time. Yeah, the replay cameras didn't really let my route through there, but it basically became the benchmark for all rally cars to beat, and I think it's quite phenomenal. Not only do I like the look of it, it's iconic, it gave us four-wheeler drive and rallying, and it's also not that bad of a vehicle now. It just really belongs in Ryzen 3, where you actually have the proper racing version, but I was playing Forza 6 and I thought, yeah, this vehicle, it works pretty well. It's a quite nice vehicle. You can still get it sliding rather controllably. I mean, it does help having 600 horsepower, but it's really quite a nice vehicle. On the topic of Audi, we have the first hybrid vehicle to ever win Le Mans, with the Audi R18 Quattro. Now, this vehicle won Le Mans in 2012, making it the first ever hybrid to win, and it basically set the stage for all future LMP cars. Despite the fact that their demise in the end of the 2017 season, yeah, unfortunately, LMP cars are no more because Porsche's pulled out, Audi's pulled out, Toyota's the only one left, and you need to have at least two manufacturers in order to race. So, unfortunately, this marks the end of the LMP season, unless someone makes an appearance, which is unlikely right now. But this vehicle set the standard for all future LMP cars, and it won 2012, 2013, and 2014 Le Mans races, which is pretty darn impressive. Second only to Porsche with their 919, that essentially which was modeled after this hybrid, similar shape. So it revolutionized the Le Mans world, and although it had some difficulties in the 2016 season, didn't fare too well. It did still do rather well, I would say, and it's certainly changed over the years. This version had only 700 horsepower. I say only 700 horsepower. Only had 700 horsepower. The new ones had almost 900. So, it was a little bit underpowered, but Yeah, once again, it set the stage for all future LMP cars to come. Now, where would we be on the subject of Le Mans without looking at the classics? And this one was a very difficult decision, because it was between this and the GT40. Now, the GT40 won Le Mans 4 times, and was the most successful American manufacturer in history up until Corvette in the early 2000s, which dominated. But I had to give it to Shelby, with the Shelby Daytona. Because this is the first American manufacturer to beat a Ferrari at Le Mans. It won in 1965, and it was designed, they basically completely remodeled the Shelby Cobra, because the Shelby Cobra had no straight line speed, so they modified this one, gave it a super aerodynamic shell, hit like 200 miles an hour around Daytona. It was ridiculously fast for the times. And it was the first American manufacturer, I can English, really, to win Le Mans. Which is remarkable, and it doesn't get that much credit, considering Ford swept the podium in 1966, 1 year later. But this is much rarer than the GT40, considering there's only 6 of them on Earth. And they're all still intact somehow. They're all still driving. And I just absolutely love it. I love the look of it. I love the lore behind it, where they just said, build me a car that will go stupid fast. And I wanted to win. So they made this. And it's just remarkable how, because I think they used the same power plant. So they got an extra 40 miles an hour simply off the aerodynamic changes alone, which is amazing engineering when you think about it. But yeah, this is probably one of the toughest decisions I had to make. The second most tough decision. Simply because the GT40 is so iconic, and it got all the credit for winning Le Mans 66, 67, 68, and 69. But this one won Le Mans 65 as the first American manufacturer, so it was very, very difficult to try and determine which one. But yeah, I picked the Daytona just because of the lore behind it, the victories, and the overall look of it. Now, whether you're a fan of F1 or not, I'm not a big fan of it. I just don't like the drivers' attitudes. But you cannot deny that the F1 car is an incredible piece of engineering achievement. It's an incredible engineering achievement. They basically put 800 horsepower, I think this one has 900 horsepower, into a cucumber, put an airplane on it, put an upside-down airplane on it, and said drive. And it did. It's a terrifying little thing to drive, but if you get it right, it is ridiculously fast. But it's also very easy to get it wrong, as you almost saw there as I slid the back end around. But these things have... this is speed on another level, and you can see that by how difficult it is for the replay cameras to keep up with it. That's how you know how fast the car is. If the replay cameras can easily track it, it's not very fast. If it has problems tracking it, then you know it's really pushing the edges of speed. And it's not easy. Ironically, I got some very good drifts out of the Formula 1 car. Not intentional, but yeah, this is just stupid fast. And absolutely terrifying. But it is an incredible engineering achievement, and I think they're switching to closed cockpits now, because that one driver had his head crushed by a tire. But I think they're switching to closed cockpit slowly, but right now these are the fastest open cockpit racers on Earth, and they are just crazy fast. So I don't really like the sport. It's a little too fast, but they are true engineering marvels, and I still am waiting for someone to hold an F1 car upside down and drive on the roof of the tunnel. Because I've heard that for decades, that you can drive an F1 car on the roof of the tunnel. No one's ever tried it. They've done everything else in cars. They've taken them to the moon for Christ's sake. But they've never taken them to upside down. I think it's about time, but yeah, you can see it's not the most forgiving vehicle in the world, but the F1 car is a true engineering marvel. Now, there are so many Ferraris to pick that could be iconic and legendary. Enzo, F40. But I ended up choosing the 458. This was by far the most difficult decision. And I picked the 458 over the F40 because this vehicle was the benchmark, and still is the benchmark, for all supercars nowadays. And it kind of began it's the epitome of supercars. Really, besides the GT, I love the GT. It has incredible looks, has a good old 4.5 liter V8 twin turbocharged. It's rear-wheel drive. It goes over 200 miles an hour. Everything is very, very good about this car. Yeah, I normally play camera, so you get slightly confused. And I had to choose this over the F40 simply because there's something better than the F40 coming in on this list. But I just love the 458. It's the quintessential poster car, if you will. When I was young, this was on every poster, it was in every TV show, everything, everyone wanted a 458. And it kind of made I call it the wall of speed, because this car goes 210 miles an hour, roughly. And no car can't really get past that very much. The P1 goes 217, the GT goes 211, the Aventador goes 210. Nothing really gets past this area. They're kind of stuck in this area. And the acceleration can change, but that's really it. The top speed is the same, the quarter miles are similar, the Gs are similar. So this is kind of a double-edged sword, because yes, it is the benchmark and definition of the supercar modern era. But it also shows how little supercars have evolved in 4 years, given that we haven't passed that this speed boundary, if you will. This will still rival a fair few. I believe it's called the Ferrari 812 Superfast. It is it's not my favorite Ferrari ever made. It's coming out pretty soon. It doesn't have the most impressive figures, 0 to 62.9 seconds. Again, a top speed of 212, 215 miles an hour. And it has over 900 horsepower. So why have all this horsepower when you don't go faster, don't have better 0 to 60s? I mean, this thing has, what, 550 horsepower, roughly? And it's going just as fast as a car with 900 horsepower. So, yeah, that's my double-edged sword bit, but it's really an incredible piece of automotive engineering. Looks good, sounds incredible, and, of course, is iconic as ever. Now, there's a reason I didn't put the F40 on this list, because we have this, the McLaren F1. Now, back when Ferrari and Porsche and Jaguar were all battling out to try and get the world's fastest production car, McLaren comes in with their first road-legal vehicle and builds the McLaren F1, a 243-mile-an-hour hypercar. It moved the goalposts and speed target by 20 miles an hour. It's still to this day the world's fastest naturally aspirated vehicle, and did all of this with just 627 horsepower. And when the Bugatti Veyron did beat it, it had a 16.4 liter quad turbocharged engine. That is a ridiculous engine. And it took 1,000 horsepower to beat this car. And it took 10 years. Over 10 years. It was like 05 when the Veyron was made, 04. So, it's a true testament for just how impressive this vehicle is. It held onto the speed record for over 10 years and took 1,000 horsepower to beat it. Now, I chose this, not just because of those reasons, but because how it stands up to the modern era. Sure, it's not as good as around the corners, but you wouldn't really expect it to. It's 20 years old. It's actually 24 years old now. And it's still faster than them in a straight line. Sure, they have better acceleration, but this thing will just keep going. And that is a true testament, considering nowadays, I talked to you earlier about the barrier that they can't go fast in 211, 217. And we were doing 240 in the 90s. So it's truly one of the greatest vehicles ever made. Now, the vehicle that I have chosen as the most revolutionary vehicle ever is the Porsche 918. And I have a very specific reason for that, because McLaren, Ferrari, and Porsche all built their respected hypercars known as the Holy Trinity, that were on the cutting edge of revolutionary technology. And while technically the McLaren P1 is the fastest around a track, this vehicle could rival it and still be able to get 96 mpg. You don't see that coming from a McLaren P1. And what I love about this vehicle is not just the fact that it looks amazing, it sounds amazing, but it keeps the hypercar alive. Because France is banning production of gasoline engines in 2019. Volvo is expected to stop making gasoline engines by 2019. Electric cars and hybrids are becoming the future, and normal gas vehicles are going to be on the decline. Which means most hypercars are going to be in serious trouble. The Veyron's going to be gone. The Zenvo ST1, the Koenigsegg except for the Regera. They're all gone. However, the Porsche is a beacon of hope for the rest of the hypercar world, and shows that you can still have an absolute killer car that can hold the Nuremberg lap record for 3 years and still be able to meet the guidelines of the changing future. So, McLaren and Ferrari built the cars for the present, as Top Gear put it. Porsche has built a car for the future, in order to ensure that performance will always stay in the world. And I think that's important, because I have a fear, deep down, that car culture is on the decline. People are viewing transportation as nothing more than that, just transportation. But there's a whole different side. These, whether they be classics or modern hypercars, they're all important to have in history. Now that we're starting to rewrite history here in America, we're not going to get into that, though. I want the gasoline cars of the ages, and even these vehicles, to be preserved forever in history. And not only be preserved, to thrive. And I think cars such as this will be able to do that. So that is why I named the 918 as the most revolutionary vehicle in the world. But that is it for this episode of Forza Motorsport. I'll be back with more